This and every episode of REKT Podcast is brought to you by Beaxy Exchange, an upcoming cryptocurrency exchange built in collaboration with OneMarket Data. Beaxy is bringing legacy finance speed, power, and sophistication to crypto for the first time. With 225,000 transactions per second per pair, comparable to NASDAQ, 15 order types on day one, with 25 order types on full rollout, and a dedicated customer support team, Beaxy is setting itself apart from the competition. Check out Beaxy today at Beaxy.com and pre-register today at Beaxy.com/registration to get your free Beaxy Exchange tokens. That's Beaxy.com, BEAXY.com. Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu Betts alongside at least one of my esteemed colleagues and co-host, Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
It's good to be back, baby.
You had a long hiatus. I think you haven't been on a show in almost 2 weeks now. You missed a full week, pretty much.
I definitely missed a full week. I got in a little bit at the end on... Peter McCormick's show.
Yep.
I got maybe 5 minutes in there. Missed Maine's show, which was a good one. I listened to it.
Controversial.
Very controversial. Hot takes coming from Trader Maine.
Back and forth.
I love it.
But we're glad to have you back. Cynthia may or may not join us. Her husband is away on business, and she is tending to her child army of shitcoin traders and miners. And we have very special guests tonight. We have... in honor of their exchange launching in just a few days, we have some of the most awesome people from Beaxy Exchange. We got Artak and Franklin. Artak, how you doing, man?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. And Franklin, good to have you back. You are now a recurring guest of REKT
Yes,
Podcast.
a tremendous
Very
honor.
elite company.
Yes, there's only a couple.
I'm thrilled about it. I mean, I told you guys after the first one, I'm looking to get back on. So
That's awesome. Before we get started here, I just do have to run a quick note. So if you've heard our wonderful Beaxy read at the top of the show, we do have another sponsor back in the mix here with us. Honey Miner is back, and they were one of our very first sponsors. So we love those guys over at Honey Miner, and they are back with a brand new piece of business. Have you ever wanted to start crypto mining but no idea how? Honey Miner is the easiest way to get started with their one-click install, earning Bitcoin straight to their computer. They're supporting Windows and now Linux, with Mac coming soon. So the Linux is their biggest news. They just kicked this off. They've got a brand new Linux miner, and it is the most profitable Linux miner on the market, compatible with Ubuntu 16.04, 18.04, or CentOS 7. Honey Miner Max pays out the market value plus 10%, as all mining payouts fluctuate. They get paid out in 2 hours, and they are 10% greater than the market earnings. So basically, if you guys are big-time miners out there, if you've used Honey Miner in the past, they have the most profitable Linux miner in the world. So check them out, honeyminer.com, and at Get Honey Miner on Twitter. So now that that's out of the way,
Boom.
Let's get right into it. So
I guess I need to swap to Honey Miner now.
I get so upset knowing that there's so many smarter people than me in the world. Like, you're talking about Linux, I'm like, I've heard of it. I have no idea any of the words you just said, though.
I keep thinking of Linus from
100%.
Charlie Brown. But anyway, let's get into it. So it's a pleasure to have you guys. We've had Franklin on before. Artak, I want to ask you, how you got into crypto and what your background is. Give the listeners a little bit of your background.
Sure. So I'm a computer science guy. I have bachelor, master in computer science. Worked as software developer, web developer for more than 10 years. got into crypto. Actually, it's a funny story. I'll tell it in 2 minutes, not to be too long. So I started my first company back in 2012, and the idea was me and my partner wanted to create something new, unique, and we just made a list of each of us 10 different things what we want to look into, and one of them was Bitcoin at the time that my friend has on a list. Probably it was my worst decision in my life. We actually passed on it because we didn't know anything about it at that time. But it gave me a knowledge, what is it? We did research, and then we passed on it, understanding that we don't have that much resources at this moment to do development on it. So, and the funny story, then I moved to US in 2014 in May, and my family was everyone living here almost, only my father and I was in Armenia, and he wanted me to stay here. So actually they were trapping me how to stay. So he asked me to go and help his friend who had 16 different dental offices in Pennsylvania to look into their server system, something not working. And I went, and after a week of research, I found that someone was mining on their servers.
That's awesome.
So that's how I got back.
Sponsored by Honey Miner.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. It's if it's my first thing is if this wouldn't be my father's friend, I would just change Miner to my address. and whatever. They hired me because I found this, and I just stayed in US. So and then I just get more and more into this. I got a lot into this in beginning of 2017. And then I met mid 2017, and we started Beaxy after literally a couple of months of knowing each other, because we're literally talking all day long about crypto, and that's how we started Beaxy.
That's awesome. So where did the idea for Beaxy come from? Where we've seen a lot of companies and projects and everything pop up, and what inspired you to build an exchange?
REKT Exchange. That's a joke.
Shots fired.
No, so I was using Bittrex. It was 2017 beginning. Everyone was using Bittrex Poloniex. There was no other exchange, to be honest. It's you were using Coinbase to put dollars into Bitcoin and transferring right away your Bitcoin to Poloniex or Bittrex. I chose Bittrex. So, and then one day I needed to buy DNT. And it was tradable only on REKT, so I sent a BTC to REKT, and I said holy shit, and why this even exists. And and me being a developer, I just see I'm not talking it's a bad matching engine. Well, you don't see this on REKT. It's a small exchange. You can't do that much volume to have a matching engine issue there. But everything about UI and not friendliness, and why I even need to send money to buy DNT there. That was the ridiculous part. And then it's everything from Beaxy, actually, to be truth, came from community. Community complained about exchanges. I said, we can do this. We started an exchange. Community complained we want a fiat and crypto in one place. Sure, should be our main goal. And then we got a tons of features. Everything most of them came from community or people like me, you, Franklin, and just because we know what it's missing, and we just discussed and decided to fix it. This is the whole idea behind the Beaxy.
I have a question.
That's awesome.
I have a question.
Yeah, go
ahead. Did you say you were trying to get DNT?
I was trying to buy DNT, right?
Is that Dentacoin?
No, it's District 0x.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I had another question prior to that. That was the guy using the dentist office to mine. Was he mining Dentacoin?
It's mining BTC, man.
Do they accept Dentacoin?
Probably not that either.
No, there was no Dentacoin in 2014. I'm pretty sure.
Good.
That's funny. So yeah, that's awesome. So obviously, a lot of people were complaining about exchanges and everything like that. This was before Binance popped up, or kind of during that same time, or
this was right before. So Binance launched 2017 July 20th, and we started August 1st our project, so officially. And so I didn't know what is Binance when I started this. I'll be very honest. And
right. Well, I just remember, even when Binance started, I didn't trust any of them. So I was like, I didn't trust anything. I was like, what is this Binance? What is anything like this? So I didn't know where to put my crypto. So, it's awesome to see, a brand new exchange coming out with the level of care that you guys have put into the project and everything like that. What I always wondered this. Where did the name Beaxy come from?
Okay. It's a very funny story. So
we like funny stories.
It's funny how it came. So it's like so the thing is, me as a developer, and I had a lot of startups in my life. So the domain is a very important thing for a business. So I always bring an example. If Bank of America wouldn't be Bank of America name, I don't think they will be successful. It's like a kind of name matters a lot. So and for me matters that you need to be .com. I don't trust other domains. It's like it's kind of joke when it's something .exchange or whatever.
Sure.
It's like and because I was in domains all my life, so I know how to find a domain. So I said, so there are like a char, and you put any letter.com, and it's a website which brings you that length domains which are not registered. Let's say char5.com. It gives you like all not registered domains for 5 letters. So I said, okay, it's not realistic to get 3 or 4 letters. I'll start from 5. And it's alphabetical order. So you get all this like abc47.com or whatever, some stupid numbers. And it came, and I wanted pronounceable something. So I see like a first one, normal Beaxy.com. I said, oh, this is cool. I went to GoDaddy.com. Oh, it's not available. Buy. Keep going. It's like it's $10. So I'll just buy all of it, and then I will decide which one is good. I spent 3 days to look into all 3, 5, 6, 7 and digits one, and I couldn't find anything better. So I said, okay, this looks good, because we wanted something which doesn't have name, and we wanted to give a meaning to it. We didn't want, let's say, tradebitcoin.com. I don't want this kind of domain, because it's an obvious thing. I want to give it's like Google. It literally become a verb, and we want to give a meaning to Beaxy word. So, and also technically it gives a lot of advantages, because if you Google Beaxy, it's all about us. There is no second Beaxy.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's been like, if you actually look at search results for like dominate the first, I don't even know how many pages, I've gotten as far as like 5, and it's a lot of us. So
that's pretty cool. It's unique, and I like the idea where you can give meaning to a word that doesn't have any meaning before. And we
should have done a little research on our name, because there is another REKT podcast, and
is there
all
really?
they do is drink. It's about like booze.
You sure that?
That's funny. I got that mistaken with this one.
I was gonna say, are you sure we're not the same podcast?
I know. I think it's interchangeable.
Could have fooled me.
That's pretty funny. Well, that's cool. And then the logo is unique and all that kind of stuff too, which is pretty cool.
Your guys' branding is great too. I've always really kind of been appreciative of how you guys have branded yourself.
Yeah,
well,
Cynthia's
she's good at least one thing.
She's the mastermind behind the skulls and the logo and all that stuff. And
it's slick. It
was actually also inspired by. Man, I'm gonna mess up what their handle was. Do you remember old REKT?
REKT R3KT or whatever it is.
Yeah, he made us our first banner with the skulls, and then we kind of just ran with that, which was pretty cool. So shout out to him. We'll tweet at him guys.
I'm gonna flip the script here and ask a question to you. How does it feel to be neck and neck on the follower count? Do you guys squabble about that on the daily?
All the time. It's
I would
funny.
hope so.
We had a bet going for the first one to 2,000, and Chamber beat me in what was a flurry. He put in some serious work over the Christmas and New Year's holiday when I was taking a break, I guess. And but I am on pace to now. I came back from 50 followers down, and I'm on pace to beat him to 2,100. So
last I saw, you guys were 2 apart.
I looked the other day, we were 1 apart.
I think I'm 3 or 4 ahead now, and I think that's it. But we were, and then Cynthia laps us by 4x. So whatever.
Yeah, that's a race for second place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But awesome, man. So I'm in your Discord. So the cool thing about your guys' Discord is there's so much access to, your guys, the team, customer service, all that kind of stuff. And you guys have done some AMAs, some Ask Me Anythings, and there's a whole channel of that in your Discord. So I went and I pulled some of my favorite questions that I saw in there, that maybe our listeners are not in your Discord yet, so to give them some kind of insight on what they can expect from you guys and things like that. So we kind of covered some generic stuff last time Franklin was on, so we'll get into some a little more in the weeds here just for as you get closer to launch. So you mentioned community driven and all that kind of stuff, so once you're focused on your launch here, once you launch, what are your main focuses for your team to work on to bring to the UX and the community after launch?
I think there's probably two parts to this answer, so I'll let Artak handle maybe the more technical side of things and like the features and stuff that we're going to be working on, what actually is going to be delivered on the product side of things, and then I'll just quickly touch on what we're trying to do from a community perspective and how we want to scale. So from a community perspective, I mean, you actually partially answered the question there. Is our Discord is a hugely important thing to us. We think that's a great way to stay directly connected to the community. I mean, you can quite literally go in there and have direct access to team members, all these different chat rooms that are kind of specifically designed to solve problems that you may have. You can get directly in touch with customer support agents who are right there literally 24/7 online. So growing the Discord, and actually over the next few weeks, and then even post-launch, is going to be a really major initiative for us. Something else that we're excited to do to get in touch with the community is more in-person events. As you guys know, we have our launch party coming up.
I'm so jealous.
I know the FOMO is real. And obviously we'll dearly miss you guys, but that's an example. That's a testing ground for us, right? That's a way for us to bring together other cool projects in the Chicago area. That's a way for us to bring together a lot of the folks that we've worked with and become friends with over the last 6, 8, 12 months, however long it is in crypto. And it's also a way for us to prove something that we'd like to do going forward, which is host more events like this. We always thought that these in-person events were great ways to connect with the community and to put your brand and product and yourself out there. And so starting to do this in more locations is going to be really important for us. There's a lot of other things that we will be disclosing soon on the marketing side as far as ways that we can get into the community in fairly unique manners, and I would dare say things that nobody has ever thought of doing. But I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll pass it to Artak to maybe talk about the product and developments on that side.
Awesome.
Yeah, from product, to be honest, we have probably 3 years already backlog written, so it's just a matter of having more developers to execute faster at this moment. We can probably say some kind of news which is not official yet. But one of the biggest things that we're working right now, we're getting. So by our roadmap, we're planning to add a fiat currencies by end of the year. But most probably we're going to adding it much, much, much faster. We're probably going to be announcing official partnership with the company who is going to help us with all the licensing issues. Probably next week or so, to be honest. We're trying to close a deal tomorrow, literally. So, wow. And
it's pretty.
Yeah, so having this, our first, right now our target is to have our beta launching in next week, and after that it will be our full rollout in a month or two, depends. It's like a security audit going on, and it's something that not related to us, actually it's third party doing work. And right after that we most probably will be adding a fiat currency, so it will be available US dollars for the whole world, and to deposit, to wire in and wire out. And it will be tradable against a lot of cryptocurrencies. So our first initial goal to have a fiat and crypto in one place, I hope it will be done in Q2, and we start doing everything else. It's like that we have on our roadmap.
Yeah, there's a lot of the advanced order types too that I think will be implemented shortly after that. It's basically
correct.
We went out with the ones that were kind of the most necessary to have, and then probably every month or 2 months you'll be hearing about a new one.
Yeah, we are. Sorry. So he said order types. I can't. So it's like yeah. I mean, this is literally like my baby. It's like when we started this, I said like I literally went to like a Wikipedia page, Googled like searched like order types, and sent this to one tick guy. Says I need all of this. I don't care. I just need all of this. It's like a beauty of getting stuff when you outsource to someone is that's the thing is to just ask. So well, it looks like ask, but I mean, yeah, it's not asking. And yeah, so we have already like the market order. Obviously, we have a tweaky market order tab. Let's say. Probably you remember like last year on Bitfinex and Coinbase, Ethereum went to like 30 cents. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, that like flash crash or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is happening because there is no button for the market orders. So in our case, let's say you can say I want a market sell, but let's say if Ethereum is less than $110, don't sell it. So we added this kind of feature, which is it's not a normal order type. We kind of made this and. Then we have limit orders, we have like a fill or kill limit, whatever, stop losses and trailing stops and take profits. This is going to be on day one. So we implemented everything, whatever exists on BitMEX, I think, have all of this. So we'll be equally even more than any other crypto exchanges on day one. And then we are going to add all this OCO, OSO, and all these advanced if-else order types very soon.
That's awesome. I mean, I think the fiat pairings and onboarding is something that, you know, not many out there can do, which is pretty impressive. I mean, I'm only aware of, you know, Bittrex just started doing it not too long ago, and then obviously, you know, Coinbase, but that's pretty much it.
I'll give a shout out. I'll give a shout out here to our guy Nick, who's our head of external operations, who networks like an absolute savage. I've literally never met a human being who networks with the intensity of this guy. It just is like comes perfectly naturally to him. And so, you know, being in Chicago, it's a fintech hub of the entire world. Yeah. There are people that you can meet here that you can, you know, never meet anywhere else with the ease that you can meet them here. And so a lot of connections have been forged here and elsewhere. And, you know, it's brought us a lot of interesting opportunities, to say the least.
That's awesome. Chamber, you got one?
I got a question for you. So when we go to launch, what can we expect in terms of listed projects other than the ones that were discussed in the EMA? Is it going to be just like top 20? Are we going to have some mid and low cap gems? Because I'm going to be perfectly honest, there's a site that I used to use for low cap gems.
We can name it. It's the Cryptopia hack. And, and that's pretty. I mean, that's a sad exchange story. And since it's happened, we actually lost some of our REKT index funds, I think.
I mean, it's definitely questionable.
Not ideal.
Right
I mean, what frustrated me was the lack of information that came. I actually before
still pretty much dark, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. It's funny. Right before I hopped on with you guys, I was reading the first substantive article I had ever seen on it. You know, I'd been looking for information. Yeah, it just came out, and it shed some light. You know, using some different techniques to kind of analyze blockchain activity and different things, and finally started to shed some light on what had happened. I think it's pretty shameful the way that it was dealt with. I mean, it makes you wonder if it was an exit scam. I mean, we can't say that it was or wasn't, but the lack of information around it. Now, obviously, they're working with law enforcement. If we assume that's true, you know, perhaps there's restrictions around what they can put out to the public. But the lack of information and transparency can be damaging because people will assume the worst, especially in crypto. So, you know, that's kind of a frustrating thing about that situation. And, you know, I think the need to update security practices for all exchanges kind of becomes clear. But, you know, as far as the listings, we have them in 2 rounds. And it's funny that this is another thing that we'll announce on your show, and not specifically what's going to be listed, but how we're going to do it. And you guys always hit for the big announcements on.
We've got them. We didn't even.
I didn't plan this either. I swear I didn't plan. Like none of us planned this. It's just impromptu. So we have two kind of schedules of listings. There's first round, and like we said before, those are a lot of your top market cap coins. Nothing that's going to be too surprising there. There may be one or two that you know are more intriguing than others, but generally speaking, it's pretty standard stuff. And then that actually will be announced like this week, like within like probably 48 hours if all goes well.
Awesome.
And then the rest of the projects that we have decided to list will be in a second round, and those will be announced over the coming days, one each day.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, so very shortly all this stuff will start coming to light. Now, when those coins will actually be listed, we can't say for sure, because we obviously have to launch with all the first round coins and then get the product out the door, legs under it, and then implement them. Some of them, they're new blockchains that we have to implement. Most of them should be pretty fairly, easy. But that's how we're planning to
Can
do
we
that.
hold Dragon Chain out like forever? That was always my favorite one. It was always when Dragon Chain listing.
Yeah,
we should continue that trend.
Yeah, there's a lot of when blank. You know. We were pretty surprised how many projects came knocking on our door.
Really?
I mean, I think that we're a known exchange now, but the amount of projects that came knocking was interesting. I did not expect it.
I mean, I think you guys are pretty impressive in what you've done so far without even having a launched product yet. The awareness is definitely there, whether, like we talked about last time, the social media blitz, but, like the awareness is out there.
Even the transparency with that, though, too.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like being aware of how impactful the blitz was.
Right. Well, look, I mean, just putting it bluntly, like, we give a shit. We actually care about our users, and we care about this ecosystem, and we care about the product we deliver, and we want to do all these things in a cohesive way. So, it's part of why we're trying to launch this Discord and have that more personal touch. It's I understand the lack of trust among crypto people. That's just is what it is. But I think the deeper you look with Beaxy, the more you'll understand that we're actually trying to, like, do things the right way in an ethical manner.
What's the crypto saying out there? It's don't trust, verify. Which
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
is pretty much.
And we were like, we that's 2 thumbs up for us. Like, go ahead, verify. Like, read our white paper, read our technical white paper. We've got white papers for days. Like, we have 3 white papers. So if you want to do the research and you want to join our community and you want to talk to the people themselves, you can do that. And that was something we were always pretty big on.
Follow up question, real quick to. Chambers' question: is there, going forward after your first 2 rounds, when you're deciding, how will the process be, for deciding what you list kind of after those first 2 initial rounds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our head of partnerships, Bay, has done a great job of putting together some initial frameworks for this. We're obviously studying what other exchanges have done in terms of listings. You have to be mindful of the legal aspect of it, of course. There's an initial form that you have to fill out. Basically, that's if you don't pass this gate, you have no chance, kind of a thing.
Right.
And then, we always talk to the projects. It's something every time is part of the process. And then we're actually working on, and can't disclose any details about this, we're working on a really rigorous kind of analytic framework in the background that basically would automatically be done for projects that pass that first few steps. Cool. And then there's always a third-party letter that we ask for from legal counsel indicating that this token has qualities of a utility and not a security, which is important. Even though we're still pursuing all the licensure and stuff necessary to operate, in a fully compliant manner.
Sure. Artak, question for you. Talk about the Beaxy token and how it works, and specifically maybe a little bit about the staking of it.
Sure. So you can use Beaxy token on our platform for various things. The first and obvious one, you can pay fees with Beaxy. It's going to be 50% discount if you just enable it from your settings. We promise this to be 50% all the time. We're not bringing it down as some other exchanges are doing. And then we are. I'll include in this talk also how we charge the fees, because it's very important to understand the Beaxy part here. So we are going to be the only spot exchange in crypto which is paying a rebate. So the only crypto exchange actually overall today is BitMEX, so it's paying you rebates. That's why they are doing $4 billion every day in transactions. So because I talked to probably at least hundreds of market makers over this period of time. I don't know anyone who doesn't do market making on BitMEX just because of this feature, because they make money by just trading. So we decided to do the same thing. We're going to have rebates, and you make rebates in Beaxy token. So let's say you did, I don't know, $10,000 worth of transaction, you need to get, I don't know, $20 back, and it will be in Beaxy with the current price of Beaxy. The next thing, we have a loyalty and staking program, which probably a little bit confusing the names actually. So staking is different than we usually think it is. So staking, you can lock your Beaxy tokens. We incentivize, our token is not for spending, not for trading, it's for actually holding it. This is what we're trying to achieve. So by locking our token, which means you can't trade it, but you decide for how long you want to lock. If you're locking at least for a month, different numbers, you can get different user levels. So you can get like a silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and each level gets more perks. So by default, initially, it's just going to be more discount fees. Let's say if you're a diamond, you get another 25% on top of the other 50 that you're using with Beaxy token. So you can go up to like 7 basis points or 0.07% fees, which is probably lower in the lowest in the market that you can get right now. After some period of time, we're going to add more things per each level. For example, you're going to get a premium customer support in a platinum or diamond, which means if you open a ticket, it's going to be first ticket in a queue. Doesn't matter how many tickets we have, because you're holding, let's say, 1 million of our tokens. So we need to kind of do whatever you need. This is the point, and as fast as you need. So so then we are coming to loyalty. And loyalty program which is actually probably people will name it staking more. So we want to appreciate that like you are loyal to us and you're holding our token and you're locking for it. So you can get some of the money that we generate as an exchange back to you on daily basis if you are locking our token. So how this is working, you can swap the Beaxy token to a Plus token. So we have two different tokens. Beaxy is a utility token that you can like trade, withdraw, and do whatever you want with any other token. Plus is a not redeemable, not withdrawable, not tradable asset. So you can only hold it on Beaxy. You can get it only by swapping 1-to-1 each Beaxy token to one Plus token. As you swap, it automatically locks. As I said, you can't move it at all. So based on how long you lock, if it's less than a month, you get 15%, more than a month up to 6 months, you get 20%, more than 6 months, you get 25% of every cent that we generate as an exchange during the day and charge as a fees. 25% comes to a pool of these locked tokens, so you get your portion every day.
Wow, that's awesome. So, question about that, just because I think I had heard there's some who can hold the Plus token, and do you have to have the Plus token in order to, kind of lock your Beaxy? So I guess what I'm getting at is, I believe Plus tokens would only be available to either accredited U.S. investors or people that aren't in the U.S., but does that mean that, U.S. traders can still stake their Beaxy coins?
Correct. So how this works is Plus feature is not going to be available for any US citizens. We probably shortly will enable for accredited investors. There's some legal work to do.
Got it.
We are applying for all necessary licenses like ATS and broker dealer. Each as we get this, will be enable this feature for everyone. But I mean, you know how it takes time, so I can't guarantee when it will happen.
Can Canadians?
Yes, Canadians will be initially we have an internal legal team, 3 people right now. So the first 2 hires were like lawyers actually. So and, I mean, the legal is the worst part in crypto right now. We don't have regulations, so there is no written rules what to do. And so right now our thing is we close US market, and we'll see if we have any kind of problem with Canada. We'll just close it as well. So, but at this moment it's open for Canada, and
I'll take it.
Yeah, what was the second part of this?
So does that mean
you can stake?
You can still stake as a
you can stake correctly. So it's your choice to get Plus token or not. So whenever you're locking the token, So let's say you want to just a diamond level, so you want to stake it, right? So, and it's going to be a checkbox. I agree, I understand whatever there is, so these legal documents, and you put a checkbox to agree, and I want to get plus tokens, so you put a checkbox. And you can, if you are not from US, you will just not see this option, and that's it.
Got it. Chamber, you got...
I did have a question. You were mentioning the different levels of, the silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. We forgot to mention we're going to be doing a giveaway for a diamond package. Is that correct? Franklin, you want to elaborate on what exactly we're getting at the diamond level?
Yeah, 100%. There will be a message coming out from the REKT team soon, and that will kind of highlight what you have to do to be eligible for this. But basically, we will be giving away diamond user status to at least one user. Maybe two if we're feeling, frisky that day. Yeah, I know. Watch out. But this will be basically, all the benefits that are afforded to diamond status users. Some of the ones that Artak went over. Obviously, you get premium levels of customer support, access to special features on the exchange, a permanent additional 25% discount to that you would receive from using Beaxy to pay. So you can really get kind of the best deal in the crypto world. The exchange world, at least, for paying your trading fees, plus a whole other suite of bonuses as well. And we've only ever given this away to one person, and that was Crypto Cred. So
sweet, you could be on Cred's level.
Well, I mean,
in status,
in this way at least.
Right, exactly.
No, I'm pretty sure what he meant to say is you'll be at the same level as Cred.
Chamber, you got one final question before we move on to the news?
I do have one. So, Coinbase announced recently their Coinbase Earn, platform as a crypto learning platform. Mm-hmm. I think Beaxy is setting up something similar to that as we speak. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've been working really hard on educational materials of different types. So Binance has their academy too, which they've done a pretty good job with putting out educational materials there. The way that Coinbase does it to incentivize users is really smart. That's a very clever way to construct that. And, I think we talked about this on the last podcast, admiring the leadership of Coinbase and Binance in totally different ways, right? There's two forks in the road for exchanges, more or less. And the best example of each fork is Coinbase and Binance, respectively. So really admire what they've done there with the educational piece. We have a knowledge portal that will be on the exchange, which you'll see when you actually log into the platform. Next to different boxes on different parts of the exchange, there will be like a little tooltip, a little question mark, and you can click into that, and it'll take you to a whole article that explains what it is that tooltip is indicating, what feature that is all about. And so we're going to continue to put out a lot of material on the different advanced order types, for example, too. Looking at doing a whole separate video educational series on that. Because thinking about it, right, if traders don't know how to use the order types effectively, it's going to mitigate their ability to get the maximum value out of Beaxy. So we want them to be able to use Beaxy and actually make money and actually have a successful trading experience. And in order to do that, we have to educate them about these order types. And then there's a few other things that we don't want to disclose yet, but some other really big initiatives that we're working on in the educational realm. So, looking to roll those out as soon as possible, but just kind of finalizing a few last things. And they'll probably be a few months after the exchange actually launches.
That's awesome. So, that was a pretty in-depth dive, I believe, into some of the inner workings of what you guys are going to be putting out there in the next couple days. We appreciate you sharing some exclusive knowledge with us for sure. I feel like we always tend to pull that out of Franklin.
I don't know what it is. You guys just must ask the right questions.
Hey, we're functional alcoholics and great interviews.
So, your viewers, your listeners must not know that you don't necessarily prepare for these things. So they must know this.
They're aware.
This is the best kind of spontaneity there is.
That's funny. But yeah, man. So that we really appreciate it. So we're gonna touch on a couple topics in the news. Chamber, what do you got for us?
I have, unfortunately, possibly another exit scam story.
Dun, dun, dun.
Possibly, maybe with might not be one, as it turns out. We had some news come out. But Haven Protocol, just the other day, XHV, was initially advertised as an offshore bank in your pocket, which we all need, really, at the end of the day.
Right. Who doesn't need a Swiss bank account in your pocket?
It had a market cap of $2.4 million, and it seemed nobody was left at home. The project, which only has 2 publicly listed developers, both anonymous, by the way. We all know what happened with, I believe it was Oyster Pearl, with their anonymous developer. Basically, it turned out it was actually, all this started from, I believe, it turned out to be like a tweet from one of our people on crypto Twitter, and I think it was, I'm just finding it here. So basically, crypto Twitter or somebody on Twitter had asked him a question. One of this Donjor, who's the anonymous dev on the team, basically saying, like, there's nobody home, this thing's going to zero unless another developer takes it over, and then it really fell hard after that. Bad news really spreads quickly in crypto, as we all know.
People are looking for
that really spread like wildfire.
Oh my God, it's been all over.
Yeah, it's insane. But correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the 1 or 2 Bitcoin coin, correct? Remember crypto?
It may. I think it might have been.
I think this is the one. I'm pretty sure. I think it was Coin Signals.
Yeah, it may have been that
GAT
coin, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it may have been that coin, actually.
So this may have been destined for failure, unfortunately. I was a big GAT fan before that happened, and he got really dumped on after that. So shout out. I think he's still around. Shout out to Crypto GAT.
Around. He's around.
But
I just think it's funny that everybody it's like a crypto Twitter witch hunt on, who was telling people to, look into Haven. And I just was thinking, like, all right, if you're going to hold everybody on Twitter responsible for saying that they like a project, like, what happens if Bitcoin goes to zero and everybody, we're all going to be in big trouble. And then I also saw somebody got a Haven Protocol tattoo, which is just unfortunate.
Wasn't that Carlos Matos?
That's exactly who it was.
Is that his real account? Tell me it's not his real account, because
I think it's a meme account. I think.
I love
Goodness me.
In my heart, I want to believe
it's very well done. Whoever's doing it, it's very well put together. It makes you think at like a passing glance that it is Carlos.
Totally.
And by the way, the
talking
Twitter...
about Herbalife shilling now. Oh my god,
no,
hilarious.
By the way, the Twitter personality who asked the initial question was Loomdart.
Oh,
nice.
Moondart. Got it. Okay. All right. So I've got one that actually you guys might have some insight on here. So this comes from theblockcrypto.com. The title here is "A Darknet Vendor is Allegedly Selling Images and Data Associated with Crypto Exchange Identity Verification Process." So there is a user out there going by the name of exploit.dot or exploit.dot, and basically he's out there saying that he is selling 100,000 personal account documents that were used to comply with KYC regulations on cryptocurrency exchanges, first reported by CCN, our favorite place. He posted the sale on July 17th on a sub-community, which it's like a hidden Reddit on the darknet. So basically, he's out there saying that he's got 100,000 personal documents that were used to pass KYC of Binance, Bitfinex, Poloniex, and Bittrex, and the documents were supposedly dumped there when a third-party KYC solution provider suffered a breach, and the documents allegedly include your selfies, the scans of identity documents, proof of each address of the person, and the vendor is now debating whether to start a crowdfunding campaign to delete all the hacked documents.
Wow.
So I'm going to let you guys take this one. I mean,
Oh,
what do you
boy.
think about all this?
Are we talking about
what do you
all
think
the
about something
selfies
like
I
that?
have?
We literally just talked about this in the office today. I think that, well, I mean, and I asked Artak, I was like, do we know who any of the vendors for these different exchanges are? Pretty sure that they don't all have the same vendor. So,
You would hope, right?
well, I mean, that begs the question, though, did multiple vendors get hacked?
Oh.
You know, I'm not sure. I mean, something, given the amount of KYC diligence and the amount of providers and stuff that we've talked through to find the right ones, and like, you know, the necessary security around that process, and just how much of that kind of work we've been doing on our end to have a secure process, like it seems a little far-fetched. I mean, I'm not discounting it completely, but it seems like a bit of a stretch, because it would require that all these different exchanges either had the same third-party KYC vendor, and that one got hacked, or they had different ones and they got separately hacked and then put into a batch. I mean, certain of the details haven't added up for me yet, although I have to admit I have not dug deeply enough into the story. So, Artak, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very sketchy, to be honest. It's so all of these exchanges that just name it, they have like millions of users, not 100,000.
Right.
So I know one very big one that most of these are using for KYC. I'm 100% sure they didn't get hacked. and they are in the business, they are the biggest ones, so they don't have any issues with like dumping the data. And the thing is, I don't know how this exchange is legally acting, but you need to have your KYC data owned if you are doing to be compliant. So
what does that mean?
So let's say me as a Beaxy Exchange doing a KYC using third-party company, anyway, I need to hold the data. I need to own it. So it's not that, let's say, I use REKT podcast to do KYC, and then like when I get subpoena, I call you. It's not like that. It's like I should have all the data. So
You should
maybe
not use
someone
us for KYC, for the record.
Yeah, don't use us.
Proof of REKT.
yeah. So
Send us a selfie of you crying with your portfolio.
There's plenty of those.
And to be honest, I would take the thing that like this is again, don't want to like hurt them more, but like Cryptopia just got hacked. I mean, maybe they have 100,000 users. This sounds kind of correct. So maybe it's the same data from there. But like, why the person who is telling this is mentioning multiple exchanges? I mean,
that was the part that didn't add up for me.
They would have like millions of this, not 100,000. This is my point. If it's a users from Coinbase or Binance or Bitfinex or whatever they named there, so.
Interesting. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting one to talk to you guys about for sure, because it's a
And for the record, there is literally nothing worse than those freaking selfies for KYC.
You hate those things, James.
You will love our new KYC way. It's like I'll do a demo. I'll send you a link.
I've already done the KYC.
It's amazing. Yeah, we're
fan.
It's like a.
Yeah.
It's completely different right now. We're changing the partners, so it's a startup that we're like starting working with, and like they are amazing. It's going to be revolutionizing the KYC world. I mean, these guys are amazing.
Yeah,
I'll send you the link. You can
like
I'll send you the link after we finish the podcast. It's there, and we didn't announce it. And it will come up in next week as well. So see,
it's already another threefer.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it here on the REKT podcast.
Threefer.
I think it's like it shows that you ask correct questions, and it shows that we work all the time on new stuff.
That's true. That is true. That means now on our podcast you've now talked about 6 exclusive things, so that that does show that you guys are hustling and there's always something new, which is cool.
Dude, you guys have no idea. There's about 50 things that we can't even talk about. Like
we just never talk if it's done. All this is done. That's why we talk.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, that's gonna do it for our news. Now we're gonna have a little fun. We're going to go into the draft.
Let's go.
So, all right, here's the backstory on this specific draft. If you haven't seen the back and forth on Twitter between myself and Beaxy and friend of the podcast, Marco Peerboom, I always knew that Marco was like big into cooking. He's always posting, pictures of him, cooking and grilling and all that stuff. And, I remember when we had Franklin on the show the first time, he was talking up Artak about his grill skills. So I had thrown out a tweet on Saturday maybe that if I were to go over to anybody's house in crypto Twitter for a meal, I'd probably pick Marco. And then Chamber chimed back in and said, wait a minute, I hear Artak's got some skills, and we went back and forth, forever about this. So we are going to draft our favorite cookout foods. So there's 4 of us here. We are going to draft these a snake draft style. We're going to pick 3 each. And so here is the order we're going to go in. So it's going to go Chamber, Artak, me, and then Franklin, and then it'll come back around. So Franklin, you'll get 2 in a row. So anything goes here, anything you would have at a cookout, whether it's 4th of July, anything, any outside barbecue. So you can do, main courses, sides. You want to say beverages or no?
100%, because that's my number
100%.
pick.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to leave the
Okay, all right. So there we go. So Chamber, kick us off. And then, as always, we're going to throw this out on a Twitter poll and see who's the champion. So Chamber, what do you got? Number 1 overall.
As you may or may not know, I'm not a huge drinker. Okay.
Right.
I delve into other recreation.
We can't all have good taste. Chamber.
Absolutely.
You're more herbal.
I'm Herbalife. I'm like the Carlos Matos of the group. But
That's your peak joke, dude.
That's a deep cut.
That's peak.
How about that's the hashtag for the show, Herbal Matos?
Yeah, Herbal Matos. I like that.
That's settled.
So I hear regular people out there love beer. So I'm going to go with beer at the cookout.
Oh, you crowd pandering bitch.
You hedged
I got to win a goddamn poll.
Yeah, but you totally are pandering here.
Man.
Take a beer.
Pandered to the... Wow.
I was literally going to pick beer, too, so that's...
Good. I'm glad.
All right. So
Effective.
beer goes 1 overall. I was going to take it, too, but that's because I drink like a fish.
That's right. I'm taking it, and I don't
All
even really
right.
drink it that much.
Artak, the grill master, what are you picking for your number 1 cookout food?
Ribs.
Ribs. That's a very good one. All right, so share with us a little bit. You got a rib recipe or what?
Yeah, is it a dry rub? Is it wet? I don't know. Is it wet rub? Is that
It's meat should always be juicy. So
Yes.
and no special recipe. I don't use a lot of spices. Just salt, pepper, paprika. Just need to know. Do it before, add some more, and freeze it overnight. I think, and then it's good. So
I'm hungry already.
Awesome. I'm deciding whether the hashtag should be hashtag Herbal Matos or hashtag Juicy Meat.
Juicy meat. I think it's funny.
I think that might be the winner. All right. So you chose. All right. So I'm up here. You chose ribs. I am gonna go with I'm gonna go straight up cheeseburger.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
I'm gonna go cheeseburger, medium to medium rare, if I can get that. I'm going cheeseburger. So now,
Man, you guys have got some good ones.
all right. So now, the beauty of this, Franklin, is you get to go twice.
Yeah, you get.
Right. Put me on the spot. I'm gonna have to go with corn on the cob here.
Good
I
one.
think we haven't had a veggie, and I love a good lightly grilled corn on the cob. So I'll have to go with that. Man, the second choice. Let me think here. Well, I'm gonna go with our cookouts. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what other ingredient we always have at cookouts: tequila. Yes.
Corn on the
now
cob
this is
and
not
tequila.
this is not a common cookout ingredient, but I will
Wow.
tell you it is the way things are done over at Beaxy.
That might get you a win.
Well, I mean, we'll see. It's
Well, it's definitely got tequila. Yeah, I just called her tequila. I was going to say you definitely have Cynthia's vote.
Cynthia tequila.
wow, that's incredible. I'm gonna bust her chops about that.
That's
next time I see
funny.
her.
All right,
Call her
so
tequila.
corn on the cob and tequila. Wait, sorry. What? You have corn on the cob and Cynthia as your first 2 picks.
Yeah.
I'm going back with another one here. I don't know. This is not going to win me many friends, I don't think. But I'm going to go with deviled eggs.
Ooh.
No, I'll give you.
That's a tasty treat.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know if it would make my top 3, but I'm going there. So, all right, I have cheeseburger and deviled eggs. Artak, you're up.
Okay. I'll go with grilled mushrooms.
Oh, interesting.
So so I'm telling literally what we have every time when we do grilling. So so you just get champignons. You take out the food, so you just have a head of it, and you put a little bit salt and a piece of butter inside, and you just grill them, unless it's all water inside it, and the juice is the most important part. Juice is the tasty part. So
Juice is the tasty part, isn't it?
Juice is the tasty part. Juicy meats.
All right, so
juicy mushrooms.
Artak's rounding out his plate here. He's got
I'm getting
ribs
excited
and
over here. I don't know what
grilled
you got.
mushroom.
Artak's got the juice. Let's just...
Yeah, Artak's juiced up and ready to go. Franklin's juiced up on tequila.
Yeah.
All right, Chamber, you're up. You go twice. You're finishing out your draft here.
I mean, I say this a lot. I honestly feel I'm going to win every single poll.
Yeah, and you've only won once ever.
I was going to say, I don't even think I won once, but okay. I'll take your word. If I won once.
There was one you ran away with. I think it was the Christmas movies.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
If this doesn't win it for me, I'm retiring from polling. Because I'm going, along with my beer, with hot dogs and potato salad.
Yeah, that's
okay.
I mean, that's a great. You've got a great lineup.
Wow.
I was hoping hot dog would slide back to me. Potato salad is good. Man, that's a really strong draft.
I'm hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah, you nailed it. I'm thinking that we'll win.
You got it.
That said, is this my final
Nope,
pick now?
Artak first.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, me again?
Yeah, last
Yep.
one.
This is your last one.
Oh man. And he picked my tequila. Actually, I wanted to get it. So. I'm a shot guy, so I always do like a tequila shot.
Nice.
I don't know. Okay, let's. So I'll tell something that no one tries. So I'll go with like a Armenian cognac.
Oh, all right.
Okay, guys, I gotta tell you, this stuff is actually incredible. Like, he's got this 20-year-old cognac, and it's delicious. I don't even like regular cognac, but this stuff is
This one's the one.
is like delicious.
That's amazing.
So if you tried Hennessy and you think you tried cognac, you're wrong.
Okay.
It's like you need to come to Chicago, and you can't get it. You need to come to. I get it delivered from Armenia, literally. Every time someone comes, my parents send me like a 20-year-old bottle. So yeah, so you need to come to try. I have for you guys.
Chamber, we're going to make an office visit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, impromptu stop. Totally professional.
All right, I am. Gosh, now I'm feeling really pressured to take a beverage, and I don't think I'm going to give in. F you guys. I'm gonna try to mitigate Chambers' punch here with a different type of salad. I'm gonna go pasta salad or macaroni salad as my final pick.
Sounds delicious.
Mm.
Do you put olives in that or no olives?
I'm an olive guy, but I know
I prefer
that's
I prefer
polarizing.
non-olive macaroni salad.
All right, Franklin, you have corn on the cob and tequila. What is your final pick?
What a haphazard group I've got going here. I don't even have any meats in my corner. This is ridiculous.
There's meats left on the table.
I know, but I mean the ones that I would legitimately pick have been already
You're a big
picked.
hot dog guy, aren't you?
No, I mean the ribs, man. I go for the ribs.
I hear ya.
I go for the ribs every time. I'm born in the South, so I really love my ribs. And actually, I'm going to have to stick with a Southern favorite, coleslaw, for my final pick.
Oh, good one. All right.
Do we go mayo or vinegar based?
I think we go vinegar based.
I agree.
I think we go vinegar based.
Especially for the sun. You don't want that mayo
Yeah,
in
it
the
gets a
sun.
little funky.
It's going to be a hot day.
It's refreshing when you have the vinegar in there.
I agree.
And it helps to cut through some of the meaty flavors.
That juicy meat.
That juicy meat.
All right, here are the final teams. Chamber in the clubhouse with beer, hot dogs, and potato salad. We got Artak with ribs, grilled mushrooms, and Armenian cognac. That sounds like a great cookout, actually.
Sounds amazing.
My cookout sounds like I'm at a soccer mom's house. I have cheeseburger, deviled eggs, and macaroni salad. And Franklin's in the corner in the pool. Franklin's drunk in the pool, eating corn on the cob, tequila, and coleslaw.
That's my favorite one, I think. I think that's my favorite one.
That's our draft. That was a good one. Things we may have left off, like, a good London broil. That's a good one to put on the grill, like
a brisket or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or like a steak.
Those different meat cuts. Yeah.
Right. I was thinking also like a bratwurst instead of a hot dog. I could have went there to try to get you, Chamber, but I went beverageless. I'm the only one, so we'll see how that fares for me in the pool. Yeah, I know, but I'll drink the pool water.
Not after I've passed out.
Anyway, that's our draft. We're going to put those out and vote on those for everybody tomorrow. But that's going to do it for us. We want to make sure that we give you guys the floor to, say where people can find you. Anything you want to do, the floor is yours.
I mean, I got one thing. I guess two things definitely to talk about. And then Artak, if you got anything, we can wrap it up with you. But the Discord we've mentioned a few times during this podcast. Would love it if you guys come and join us there. Probably under the tweets announcement of this podcast, we can toss up a link just so you guys are made aware of that. But it's really an important initiative for us. You can get direct exposure to different team members. There's a ton of information in there. And it's, gives you special access. So, as Artak kind of indicated before, we're rolling out the beta of the platform in kind of a tiered schedule. So ambassadors will get it first, and then we'll roll it out to members of our Discord next in batches of, probably 50, 100, scaling up a little bit by little bit. So being in there has direct benefit for you. You get special access to different contests, competitions, things like that we do in there. And you'll get early access to, first of all, the actual exchange itself, and then later on, different features and tools. Also want to mention, too, we have our public sale upcoming on the Paper Street platform, and we're really excited about that. Those guys are awesome. And that's looking to launch February 4th right now. So stay tuned for that, and there will be more details coming soon. Artak, you got anything to round us out here?
I would just like to say that if any of you guys in Chicago will love our community, just give us some ping us on anywhere, Discord, Telegram, anywhere, and just come by our office. We want to see everyone that supports us.
Awesome.
Chamber, any last words?
I'm just really upset that I'm going to miss this party. This
Me too. Wait, talk about the party one real quick and make everybody else jealous.
Yeah. No, I mean it's so we're working with Block Party on it. And you guys are familiar with Block Party.
Yeah, we had Shiv on the show.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, great team, very effective at what they do. They know how to throw a great event. And so we had met them actually at a conference and kind of kept in touch, and we were talking like, hey, how can we do some work together? And, this idea for Launch Party came up. And this has been something we've worked on for actually almost 2 months now, putting all the details together. We got a lot of really interesting crypto personalities that are going to be there. Folks that have been vocally supportive of us, folks that have not been vocally supportive of us. We've got some other interesting projects that will be there too. Hero will be there. Athena Bitcoin, they're crazy hype right now. We know their whole team. They're a lot of them are here in Chicago too. Athena Bitcoin, which is a really interesting group. They have hundreds of Bitcoin ATMs all around Latin America and the U.S. And they have a trading group and a co-working space for crypto as well. And then our partners at OneTick, they'll be there too. So it's going to be a really exciting event. Again, co-hosted by Block Party. It's at Bottle Blonde in the River North District of Chicago. So if you want to RSVP, download the Block Party app, and you will see it in there. It pops right up when you get into the app, Beaxy Bash. You can go ahead and RSVP in there. We've still got a few open spots left, not many, but if you get in there quick, you can probably get a hold of one. And yeah, we'd love to see you. I mean, like Artak said, like we're an open book. We've met so many people who've just reached out on Twitter and like, hey, I'm in the area. You wanna hang out? And we're like, yeah, by all means, come by the office. So if anyone wants to come hang out with us, please do.
Will there be Armenian cognac?
That's the real question.
After.
After.
We don't bring the good stuff to the.
That's fair.
We wait until later. So.
I hear you. That's awesome. We thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your time. Had an awesome conversation. So definitely. We will definitely post a link to the Discord on the show for tomorrow and everything like that. Again, thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Artak, it was awesome talking to you. Franklin, as always, you're now a recurring guest and friend of the show. So, but other than that, Beatle. Yeah, that's right.
Deal.
That's right. So other than that, just remember to please subscribe and rate us on Apple Podcasts. Goes a long way. Join us in our Telegram. We have a good time in there. t.me/rekt_podcast. Follow us on Twitter at rekt_podcast. And that's going to do it for us.
Hey, don't forget to show the Patreon.
Oh, you do that.
Right.
I forget it every time, man.
Hey, guys, people listening right now, go to our Patreon page. Hook us up, all right? We're not asking for much.
Guys, hook
$2
up.
We're not asking for much here, people. We're going to provide quality content for this. Check out the tiers. They're pretty funny. We got some good stuff for the monthly subscribers. So check it out. We got some funds going right now. We make everything nice and public, so everything's above board. So if we're making millions of dollars, then you don't have to pay for it anymore. But check it out.
We're almost there.
Almost there. So close to the $1 million benchmark.
We're almost millionaires. Anyway, that's going to do it for us for Crypto Chamber. I am Bunshu Betts. Until next time, don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.